Okay, guys, so we're going to resume our interrupting phrases, inserting commas with interruptions. If you have just now joined, please resume on page 225 in our grammar workbooks. We're going to answer a quick review of 10 questions on where to insert commas in our sentences after interrupting expressions. Okay, Adam, can you please tell us where the first comma should go? Okay, the sentence says, Dr. Phillips, should I make an appointment with you next week? So where should you insert your comma, Adam?
I don't
You
know,
are
Sarah.
speaking with Dr. Phillips. Imagine you're at Dr. Phillips and you're directly addressing him. What did we say, Judy? Can you help Adam?
We put a comma.
Yes, where?
Um, after Dr. Phillips.
That's correct. Okay, so we can make here we insert the comma right here. Okay, Dr. Phillips, comma. This is called direct address when you're directly addressing someone or speaking to someone directly. Luji, please. Lujain Ayman, number 2, read it for us, hon.
The race, therefore, was equally challenging to all the
Con- contestants. Good job. Okay, contestants are people in a race. All right, the people in a competition. You have a
uh,
parenthetical expression. Where is it?
before, therefore, and
Great. All right, and we agreed that if a parenthetical expression comes before or comes in the middle of the sentence, then you need to make sure that you insert it before and after the actual parenthetical expression. Okay, great job, Yalushi. Thank you. Okay, let's do number 3. Number 3, please, Farah.
uh, are you going to join us for tea, Mr. Comma, we will put a comma after tea.
Great. We put a comma after T. Bravo, ya Farah. All right, here, and it's showing that you are directly speaking to Mrs. Collins. This is exactly the same example for number 1 from Adam's question, except here Dr. Phillips was in the beginning of the sentence, directly speaking to him, and Mrs. Collins is at the end of the sentence, directly speaking to her. Thank you, Farah. Number 4, Hannah Hamdi, please.
The rowers, of course, were exhausted after the 3-hour race.
Great.
Before and after, of course.
Good job. Okay. Before and after, of course. Thank you. Number 5, let's hear please from Kinsey.
Small dogs, for example, can be great pets for either elderly.
Elderly. The elderly means older people. Correct.
Okay. Elderly will be before, for example, and after.
Great. Before the word for example, which is your parenthetical expression. Great. Number 6, Khadija.
The students generally speaking enjoy a great deal of variety in the lesson plan. Before generally
Great. Before generally and after?
speaking,
And after speaking. Bravo. Okay. Nano, number 7, please.
Have you read this article yet? After yet?
Yes, good. You're directly speaking to Jeanette. Perfect, Nano. Number 8, let's hear please from Hala.
Miss, yet, is this painting yours? We'll put comma after Miss Yet.
Okay, because you're directly speaking to her. Good job. Number 9, let's hear from Reem.
Those antics. By the way, before, by, and after way.
Great. This is an interrupting expression of by the way. Great job. And finally, number 10, let's hear from Ahmed, please.
The mayor, on the other hand, disagreed with the committee's decision.
Perfect.
Uh, After the other hand,
Good. On the other hand,
before.
comes in the middle. So what do we have to do with things that come in the middle? We have to set it off. That means we put a comma before and a comma after.
After.
Yes. Great
I
job.
was gonna say before on, but
Oh, sorry. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Ahmed. Amazing. Okay, so you guys now understand the interrupters, and we answered page 224 and 226. Tomorrow we're just going to do introductory elements, okay, and the conventional use of commas, and these will be done with that. So let me just save this. All right. Did everyone please make sure that you guys answer these questions with me in your workbook? It's very important that you guys are doing this with me as we go along, because you guys will need to do that when you guys will need these pages to study for your term exam. All right. When we're dealing with introductory words and phrases, examples like yes, no. Okay. We need to say, for example, when we use the word well or oh, these also could show up in the middle or in the beginning of the sentence. We agreed that we also need to insert a comma after a long prepositional phrase, or if we have two back-to-back prepositional phrases beginning my sentence. Okay, like in the darkening attic room. This is one long prepositional phrase, so we need to put a comma after it. We also need to put a comma if you have two consecutive or two back to back prepositional phrases. All right. The first one here is at night, and the second prepositional phrase is in the desert. So when you have two prepositional phrases back to back, you need to make sure that you insert this comma, okay, after the two back to back prepositional phrases. All right. If your introductory prepositional phrase is short and it's only one prepositional phrase, then you do not need to insert a comma. A comma could be used or may not be used. It is optional, but it is not mandatory. Okay. It's not something that you must do. Okay. So in the morning, this is one short prepositional phrase. Either way will be acceptable. However, the rule says if you have one or more consecutive, all right, two back to back prepositional phrases, you definitely need a comma. And if you have one big long one, you need to use a comma. Okay. And for verbal phrases, you guys already know your verbal phrases, your beginning participle phrase needs to be a comma after it. And also, if you have a beginning participle phrase, all right, be careful, an infinitive phrase, which is to plus a verb, if you guys remember. Just be careful that if your infinitive is acting as a subject, you do not put a comma after it. Okay, to become a museum curator is Shonda's dream. Okay, what is Shonda's dream? Which is to become a museum curator. We said infinitives could be nouns, they could be adjectives, they could be adverbs, if you guys remember. And if they are nouns, they could be subjects, or there could be direct objects, indirect objects, or predicate nominatives, if you guys remember that. Or they could also be object of prepositions. So we agreed that if your infinitive is a subject, you do not ever need to again separate it with a comma from its verb. Okay, you only need to use them or separate them with a comma when they are beginning phrases that are used to describe something. Okay, we also agreed that you have an adverb clause. If you guys remember, an adverb clause starts with your subordinate conjunction. Okay, like the word when and because and if and whenever, whatever, while. Okay, if this clause comes in the beginning, you need to separate it with a comma from your independent clause. What kind of sentence structure is that going to be? That is going to be a complex sentence, if you guys remember. Okay, a complex sentence has one independent clause and one subordinate clause. In this sentence, if the subordinate clause starts my complex sentence, then I need to insert a comma. If your subordinate clause comes at the end, you do not need to insert a comma. So I can rephrase the sentence by saying the huge ice floe began to melt and break up when March came. Okay, so what I did was I introduced my subordinate clause at the end of the sentence. If that is done, then you do not need to put a comma. If it begins your complex sentence with the sentence, that has your subordinate conjunction, then you need to insert a comma. Okay. For extra practice, I'm going to stop share, and I need to for you to. I'm going to open up the whiteboard, and we're going to do exercise 9 together. Okay. Exercise 9 is going to be on again in your textbooks.
If you have any questions that you truly don't understand,
I'm sorry, one second. I'm going to tell you the page number.
okay, and I'll have a look at it.
And that is going to be on page 371.
Tomorrow, to have your books with you, you should have your books with you in every session.
And our workbook?
No, that's going to be the grammar textbook, Yarim.
Grammar textbook.
Okay, and it's going to be on page 371, going on through 372.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, so let's look at number 1. And we only have one more topic to discuss about commas, and we're going to also discuss dashes, okay, because dashes are also going to be one of the punctuation marks that we're going to need to know before the end of this week. And then we are going to be essentially done with grammar. Okay, so Judy, please go ahead.
Issued in 1991, the stamp honoring inventor John. This part of the U.S. Postal Service's Black Heritage Stamp Series. After 1991, insert a comma.
Great job. Okay, after this prepositional phrase, we agreed introductory prepositional phrases. All right, we need to be inserted with a comma. All right, and it's the beginning, so I need to capitalize it. Okay. Issued in 1991, comma. Great job, Yazidi. Number 2, let's hear from Hannah Hamdi.
Since the Postal Service began issuing in the series in 1978, the stamps have become popular collector's items.
Great.
After 1978.
Great, because this is a complex sentence. Okay, you have your adverb clause that starts with since, which is your subordinate conjunction. It comes in the beginning. So after 1978, we need to put a comma. Again here, I'm going to put that this is an adverb. Okay, the explanation is that it's an adverb clause. Okay, it starts with the word since, which is one of your subordinate conjunctions. Thanks, Hannah. Perfect. Okay, let's hear from Adam, please. Number 3.
Yes, I'm still getting the book.
Okay, Adam, please let's speed up the process. Okay, Ali, number 3.
Your turn 4 topics for your exam, and I will add poetry to it. I told you in the beginning.
Originally picturing only government officials or national symbol U.S. stamps now feature a wide variety of people, items, and events.
Great.
I'm speaking to myself.
Correct?
No, you definitely need a comma somewhere. Okay, originally picturing only government officials or national symbols, U.S. stamps now feature a wide variety. You have an introductory participle phrase. How are the U.S. stamps described as?
Picturing only government officials.
Exactly. Originally, okay, this is it starts with an adverb, and your participle here is picturing. Picturing what? The government officials or national symbols. So you have a participle phrase. Originally picturing only government officials or national symbols is an introductory participle phrase in the present tense describing the stamps. So you need to put a comma after symbols. Okay, comma, because this is again a participle after a participle phrase. Okay, Ali.
Okay.
Number 4, let's hear from Hannah Durham, please.
As stamps become more varied, stamp collecting become even popular.
Great.
Correct?
You're again, I need you to pay attention. You have here a complex sentence. Okay, you have an independent clause and you have a subordinate clause. Where's your subordinate clause? Is it in the beginning? Your adverb clause is in the beginning or at the end of the sentence?
And the beginning.
Yes. All right, it starts with the word as. Okay, as stamps become more varied, comma. Okay, stamps is the subject, become is the verb, and here as is a subordinate conjunction. So as stamps become more varied, this is an adverb clause. So I need to put my comma where, Hannah?
After varied.
After varied. Good, because again, this is an adverb clause. Okay, thanks, Hannah. Number 5. Let's continue here too. Let's hear from Reem, please. Number 5.
Because stamps portray our country's culture, they fascinate many people. Comma after culture.
Great. And why, why, Reem? Why?
Separating the adverb.
Exactly. Again, you have a complex sentence. One is an independent clause and one is a subordinate clause. The subordinate clause comes in the beginning of the sentence. So here you need to, and remember, it starts with because, and because is one of my subordinate conjunctions. So this is definitely an adverb clause. Good job, Yarim. All right, number 6. Let's please hear from Nano.
In the United States alone, more than 20 million people enjoy stamp collecting. Correct? لا after alone.
Great. After alone. Why do we need to insert a comma after alone, Nano? Why? Okay, so let's look here again. Number 6. In the United States alone, what kind of phrase do you have?
Prepositional phrase.
Exactly. And what did we say about introductory prepositional phrases?
Needs a comma.
Okay, we agreed that if it's a long prepositional phrase and that comes in the beginning, especially if there are two consecutive ones, one after the other, you need to follow it with a comma. Okay, so here, this is an introductory prepositional phrase. You need to put a comma after alone. Good job. Good job. Okay, number 7.
Okay, is there anyone that would like to
Number 7,
continue?
Luigi.
To attract collectors, the postal service produced limited numbers of special stamps. After collectors,
Good. Why so?
because Miss, what did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's an introductory what? To attract collectors. This is what kind of introductory? Is it an introductory prepositional phrase, an introductory adverb clause, an introductory participle or infinitive? What is it?
Infinitive.
Exactly.
You said that she wants to be like rich, but I want you to pay close attention here. She said,
Okay, and number 8, Judy, please.
if only I could become
With the treasures the city stored in albums, comma. No. After albums.
No, we're doing number 8, honey.
Number 8. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Correct.
It's correct. Okay, and why is this correct? Because your comma here is separating what? Judy, can you remind us?
Yes. No, because it's a prepositional phrase, so.
In number 8, your comma is separating what?
Infinitive.
Find a valuable rare stamp. So what am I dividing?
Infinitive clause.
She says,
Okay, let's think about it. Your comma's between the word valuable and the word rare. So they're both what type of words describing the stamp?
Adverb, adjective.
adjectives. Okay, so here your comma is correct because, and there's no other comma that needs to be, because to find the valuable rare stamp is your subject, and we said to be careful. Infinitive phrases, when they're acting
Miss,
as,
your voice is lagging.
okay, we said to be careful. If your infinitive phrase is acting as a subject, we do not need to insert a comma. Here your infinitive phrase is the subject. To find the valuable rare stamp is the dream of many, of many, is the dream of many a collector. So here, what is the dream of many collectors? Which is to find the valuable rare stamp. So the infinitive phrase here is the actual subject of the sentence. Therefore, we do not need any commas here. Yes? Be careful that the comma that's inserted here is to separate two adjectives, and we call these coordinate adjectives because, again, they both describe the same noun. Okay, so we need to separate the two adjectives with a comma. This is correct. All right, so again, number one, we do not need a comma in eight because the infinitive phrase is acting as a subject. Make note of that to yourselves. And the comma that's used in number eight is used correctly because it is separating two adjectives that are coming back to back to describe the same noun. Okay, guys? All right, number nine. Let's hear from Yusuf, please.
Everybody kidnapped. Janagula, take the first 10
Miss, can you hear me?
Yes.
To keep their collections from becoming too bulky, many collectors concentrate on a single topic. After bulky,
That's correct. After bulky. Why? Because you have an introductory. Your infinitive phrase here. This is an infinitive phrase. Okay, is your infinitive phrase here a subject or is it an introductory phrase?
introductory phrase.
Exactly. Good. So this is why we need a comma, because we said to be careful. If your infinitive is acting as a subject, you do not insert a comma. You only insert the comma if it is an introductory phrase like number nine. Okay, Yusuf, thank you. Number 10. Let's hear from.
Put you in my phrases.
Let's see the last one. Okay, Hannah Hamdi, please. You have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Or maybe just
With their treasures safely stored in albums, collections, enjoy examining their first stamps as well as their most recent ones.
Examining. Please say that again.
Examining. Um, after albums,
Perfect. And why so?
because
what kind of words?
in,
Okay, anyone else?
The first one, with their treasures safely stored and in
yes.
Okay, Jen, continue reading.
with their treasures
prepositional phrase.
and in albums. Good. So we have two, okay, two prepositional phrases. All right, and we agreed that if your sentence has two prepositional phrases that are introductory back to back, we need to make sure that you have to have a comma after them. All right, so we only have to cover conventional situations of commas, and we're going to do that tomorrow. And we're going to answer review C and D together. Okay, what I need you guys to do for homework, again, let's see here. We already answered interrupters. Okay, if you guys can do answer page 226 and 227, all right, that would be a good practice. Okay, page 226 and 227. All right, for homework, please. Okay, 226 and 227 for homework. This is the grammar workbook. Okay, and if you're done, please take photos of them and insert them in an email and send them to me. Okay, tomorrow, guys, what you need to remember that tomorrow we have on our schedule for the weekly plan that we're going to be covering chapter 9 and 10 this week. Okay, starting Tuesday and Wednesday, we added one more day of novel study. Tomorrow is going to be dedicated to, we're going to utilize some time to go over the conventional use of a comma, and we're going to also cover dashes in one of our sessions. And then the second session is going to cover chapter 9. I need you to come to class prepared, have read chapter 9, because we're going to discuss it through, again, class discussion questions. Okay? So have it read, and if you have any questions, please raise them so that we can discuss it and analyze it together. On Wednesday, we're going to practice and read chapter 10, and then we're done. I also need to raise one more issue before we go. If you guys go, which is not an issue, it's something positive. Okay, if we look here at our weekly, our SMS site, I need you guys to just be advised that I have uploaded your exam topics for for term 4. Okay, if you download it here, you guys will see. Okay, that we're gonna have an unseen passage. Okay, whether it is going to be a myth that you have to read, a very short one, or maybe even an article with text features. All right, these are not going to be needed literary terms where you're going to have to be asked for definitions. Okay, they're not going to be definition related. What I need you just to know them and be familiar with them, because the questions in your passage can ask you to refer to a bold-faced word or to a bulleted list, or what does the information in the sidebar may contain, what are certain captions or subheadings or titles. So again, to just be familiar with what are text features and so on. Okay, so no definitions here. And then again, here you're gonna see an unseen passage, as I said, whether it is either one of those readings, you'll see on the exam. Okay, on the grammar, we will see chapter 10 that was related to pronouns. If you guys recall, possessive and subjunctive and objective, the difference between active voice and passive voice when it comes to verbs. Okay, and we're gonna go over these again during revision week. Okay, and we also have to remember the verb moods: interrogative, imperative, indicative, conditional, and subjunctive. And I'm going to teach you a way to clarify, and this is exactly how it will look to tell the difference between conditional and subjunctive. All right, we're gonna have to look at commas. Okay, and the commas, all the rules of commas are going to be on on the exam. Okay, from the beginning till the end. All right, and then finally dashes, as we will cover them starting tomorrow, and we're gonna continue covering them until Thursday. Dashes, the rules for dashes are very, very like two or three. Okay, you'll be surprised. It's just a short, very short paragraph of dashes of rules. Okay. And these vocab words, of course, they're taken from Pandora's box, and they're also taken from the Spider-Man behind Spider-Man, and the rest of the vocab words are going to be from Animal Farm. And you have a total of 30 words. We're gonna do the revision. Remember, during revision week, starting Sunday, ending Thursday, every day we're going to cover again 6 words, and at the end that will total up to 30. Of course, we're gonna see the novel on the exam. We're gonna have to cover chapters 6 to 10. You'll have multiple choice questions and short answers, and that's it. That's it for the exam. Any questions, Hannah?
Miss, didn't we say that in the moods we're gonna take off conditional and subjunctive?
No, I'm inserting them, and so we're gonna revise them again. And I didn't take out subjunctive. I took out conditional alone. However, I realized that there's a better way that will help you, and you're gonna need to know conditional for next year. I looked in the grammar grade 9 books, and conditional is one of them. So I will hold you accountable for it. Just for the sake of next year, I need you to go in grade 9 knowing all 4. Okay, so we're going to, during revision week, we're going to go over that again, and we're going to specifically understand ways of differentiation between conditional and subjunctive. Okay, we're only gonna have maybe like 6 questions on verb moods. Okay, maybe even one sentence for each mood. Okay, so it's something very simple, inshallah. Okay, any other questions?
Are we gonna answer some of the vocab because some we didn't take in?
We're gonna do
Or
all
did
the
you
vocab.
approach it?
We're gonna do all the vocab. Just remember that for these all the way until from 1 to 8. These are the words that are taken from the literature, which is Pandora's box, okay, and from the Spider-Man behind Spider-Man. Okay, only 8 words. So from 1 to 8, these are the words taken from the literature or the stories that we read in class. We didn't go over these words, like as alone, because we didn't get quizzed on them, but we just saw them in the reading and we stopped at them while reading. Okay, but inshallah, on the for the revision week, what we do is we take 6 words per day, and all the way at the end of the week we'll see that we have covered all 30. Okay, from malignity, from 9 all the way to snout. These words we took them for the exam, okay, for the quiz for chapters. If you look at them, you'll see that they cover words from chapter 6 to 9. Okay, I mean, sorry, from 6 to 8. Starting number 19 all the way to 30, these words are from chapters 9 to 10. Okay, and these words we're gonna meet them tomorrow when we study chapters 9 to 10. Okay, so we'll see them. Again, this is the division of the vocab from 1 to 8. They're taken from Pandora's box and the Spider-Man behind Spider-Man. From 9 to all the way to 1918, Animal Farm, chapter 6 to 8. And from 19 to 30, there are chapters 9 to 10 of Animal Farm. Okay, chapter 9 to 10, all these words we haven't met yet. We're going to meet them tomorrow, inshallah, while we do the reading. Okay, and we're going to start revising them, and we're going to take words. So now, so far, if you want to start working on this, what you could do is look up these words in the literature book because they're there, and to get the definitions for them. Okay, from 9 to 18, we already have the definition for them. Okay, for 19 to 30, we're going to define them tomorrow and on Thursday. Okay, I mean tomorrow and Wednesday as we do chapter 9 and 10. Okay, Judy, does that help you understand where the words came from?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So again, I would highly suggest and recommend from 1 to 8, go through your literature book. Again, Pandora's box is from from 1 to I would say 4. Pandora's box's words were only 4. Adorn, to decorate, how they adorned or decorated Pandora. To restrain, that she couldn't restrain herself or hold herself back from opening the box. Subtle changes. Subtle means, again, it's something that you are not easily recognizing. Okay, if I do a subtle change in the classroom, you guys enter the classroom, you guys will not be able to recognize it. But if I do a big change or a significant change, that means something that you could be able to catch on to quickly. All right, to ensnare means to, again, to attract or to pull, okay, or to intrigue. All right, perseverance, again, engaging in potential, and rendition are from the Spider-Man behind Spider-Man, and we're gonna get these definitions from the literature book. There's no problem. Okay, any other questions about the topics for the term exam? Any?
No,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, perfect. Okay, we're gonna practice also an unseen passage together of reading one myth and one article, and we're gonna see what kind of questions we can basically face and how we can find the answers to them. Okay, and again, also, guys, start practicing chapter 10, revise, refresh your memory with these things, and if you have any questions during revision week, it'll be a great time to pop them. Okay, guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you guys. It's on SMS, so just download it and start and print them. I suggest that you print them and start going over each one and each topic and seeing where are your weaknesses, so that we are not so that you can have enough time to ask and inquire for questions. Okay, don't forget those who had not yet given me a topic for their projects. Okay, I'm gonna upload the list of students and partners, and you need to tell me by today. If you do not start telling me today what you have decided upon, I'm gonna start deducting points from your grade. Okay, so by tonight. If tomorrow comes, if tomorrow morning, I do not hear from you at all tonight about your topic, you can consider that you have 1 point deducted from your quiz from your project grade, and it'll be a point until you tell me. Okay, every day will be a point deduction until you tell me. So hurry up and make your decisions with your partners. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today's session, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Animal Farm Chapter 9 and conventional commas and also dashes. Okay? All right, guys, have a great day, and don't forget to do your homework as I posted the pages in the workbook, and do not forget to send them to me also via email or messenger. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
You too. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.